46 4936 503. Una go see me there. But because now an interactive discussion, waiting I will do before I can start with the first one. I want you a small musical break, and once we come back, we then start the ball rolling. So back to you guys then at the studio for small musical break.
Unity Broadcasting Television don't come for unify, sensitize, and inform Salon people home and abroad. Broadcasting TV don't come.
For developments now we country TV.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation salon.
Unity Broadcasting TV don't come.
For developments now we country TV.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation salon.
We now independent media house. We dey here for unify, sensitize, and inform. Sierra Leoneans home and abroad.
We dey have so for talk, but waiting they happen. Political discussion,
you for know about salon politics.
Religious messages, entertainment self no go left bien.
We no go left nothing bien no.
TV don't come.
Developments now we country TV.
The first of the three topics then, where we discussed today, have put them under the caption judicial intimidation. So the question is, what we mean by that? When the people them way they now with third branch of government, when are the judicial part of it, whatever power they get, then they take out for threatening people them. How we come about this? When they follow me in a Salute Talk Forum, where they deal with issues coming in analysis on daily basis, like where they bring programs there. But more so, which I don't bring for the past, we're almost going to a month when I then land issue, real estate property, and people then land them, where other people they grab them, and they take them, and they go take, people go send them on a court. They take Osama bin Laden come back for the president of the United States. So what's not happen? The people that now really get affected by this, they don't sit down and reason out saying, because Salon Talk Forum now a public, place where they deal with common causes then, where they bring issues them out to the public, so they now decide for the bring them to me. So that way we will, put pressure on the people that were involved next year. And I must tell now, the pressure they work. The pressure they work because even this government now says, I must tell now, is that like their back, they're on the wall. And specifically, I go even talk about the minister waiting for lands now. We see what he do. So, but what did they happen also? Because of the heat when the people they take. The constant, calling their names, shaming them and all that shit. So, who say today, now me really the one gets to. Now me the one gets to. For see they can, silent me, you're like that bar fellow, we be the come with them, but figure, and they talk about corruption. But unfortunately for them, no way, no, they will get me, not possible. Because I live now in a society where freedom of speech, now, an integral part of the democratic process. In fact, I can tell now, with any degree of certainty, when the people of this country are when they write the constitution of this country as well, one of the things that they do, they make sure say the amendment number 1, but all the amendments they make freedom of speech amendment number 1, and they expressly say the Congress of the United States, when are the first body, when are the legislative body, you don't get power for rights any law where go free speech. Because when you talk of freedom of speech, now the bulwark of democracy, there's no way where anybody will talk about freedom democracy where freedom of speech absent. As a matter of fact, the first Secretary of State now, then Mr. Thomas Jefferson, who now with American politics, you know, where Naina be man who writes that constitution day. Let me put that together. And it can be maybe the first Secretary of State now or Minister of Foreign Affairs. They be the third President of the United States. Now, one thing where we talk, he say he will prefer for live in a country where not get a government, but the people that where they free. Now that he say he not go left for them a country where get government, but the people are not free at all not. So that night essentially underline American democracy. When you talk about American democracy, now the freedom of speech. Now look at this applicable no. There's I get cases that when it come to me about lawyers then where also they collude, you know, with even members of the court, a good number of the lawyers what they do, they defraud and deprive citizens of the legitimate property, especially this land business. It appears now say the lawyers in Asylum, they all about 98% of them now they don't become what you call conveyance lawyers, and I don't know what they do. A lot of us are honest, you know. And there's a particular lawyer where they focus now, where named Elvis Cargo, where I don't get number of complaints in different people there. They get the case file. As a matter of fact, before I even come on this program today, one other person called me from England. He give me long talk where even the AIG where they don't intervene then a primary job for help see how they go solve this case. So when a land problem again the same lawyer and they call it. So waiting the way when the lawyers they want to begin fight back now is then they're gonna court for see what in law they get what they call interlocutory injunction. That's an illegal terminally. Waiting that means they're gonna court and you know you make a submission or you apply for a ruling where you put a hold on something, meaning that we not for talk about the case and not for call the lawyer name. Oh, then you don't know. Yes, sir. Once a matter don't go to court, it don't then in the public domain. You just get for talk about her. It then in the public domain. You get for talk about her. If they don't want to talk about her, they enough for going to the public domain. But what's even very significant and abiding about this, we are a supposed society where they function on the fundamental edifice of the rule of law. And the rule of law, they also take into account freedom of speech. That's a part of it. If we don't exercise that, then we don't even talk of say we then are just an egalitarian society where the members they all feel say they get something for offer to us. The nation is socio-economic, political, and cultural emancipation. As we will see that way, we self-evident. We all go to Lancaster House 1960, May 16, forget independence. Where we'll get on April 27, 1961. That will be the thing that essentially that. So President Bio, as we all go recall, if he not talks in, it affect corruption. You know, he go say he don't bring allejo them at the country. Foreigners them pay them plenty money for fake corruption. But the question where we get for ask yourself, we get for left this fighter all to President Bio, you know? No. Almost intuitively, we all get for join in because the thing is not to President Bio get Salon. President Bio is not just one member of Salon. We all were born at Salon. We all were born in. Whether we did inside the country or we did out to, now we place that for help make Salon a place where we all will be very proud of. We then oversee Naya, we they obey the laws, especially within America. We they accept every law where the people are with. For example, the president just don't talk so they come. Now, if anybody you not say that I'm a vaccine, you know go enter no office, and every now and then they get for the test tube. And even yesterday, I when the president, President Biden, he don't tell I think the Minister of Education For if I let try go now the Justice Department, for see then governors the way they act very recalcitrantly, they don't want subject citizen and so they're speaking for them, then they begin to take legal action against them. So now this is a law, a society where they function on laws, not a society where they function in whims, views, and caprices of people. This now make the greatness of America is now the exceptionalism of the United States in global affairs, where laws them, like I say, the laws them now they serve as the ethical foundation and the moral compass. Now the glue, now the foundation that now all this country also. Not to the riches, not to the White House, not to the Congress, not to the Air Force One, not to that new car where they need for the president, specially designed car for. No. The rule of law, the law, where everybody, rich, poor, blue, yellow, green, whatever, the law cover you. So, may go continue for assure the judicial system that's alone, as well as the Bar Association, that we all they jump on President Bio in call for law fight corruption. We they jump there. Anyhow we look. They pull pare who say, Uda no wale monkey tail touch and no go monkey dance. No go there. Where no go monkey dance tail no go touch you. If you don't want to call you name pan corruption, stay away from corruption. You don't want to call you name, not violate people their constitutional rights them, not violate people their inalienable rights them. If that happen, if they're not salary, they not go talk, we go talk up. If not for that, make this cyber law become, say they go use them for the suppressed people there, that not a fundamentally mistaken premise. It's not going to happen. It not going to happen. And I'll go show anybody, there is nothing where anybody go do Naya, personally to me. Nobody from President Biote cannot, that's not going to do to me. The most he go do, he not go like the opinions on things, and that's all. You got to live with that. Because I live in a society where they nurture that and where they encourage that. Every day that they criticize the leaders in this country as well. They criticize Mr. Trump from the one way he can, no, from the one way he announced that he wants for president, say up to the time when he left, and even now that they criticize them. And just today, the governor of New York, he's out of office. Why that happen? Because this country, now country where they strive on the rule of law. Now the rule of law, now people can come on office. And you get more legal quagman than way before, where you get for face. Where in fact some of them even bother on criminal offense. He also they look at that, apart from civil actions, the way you get for face, all that theory. That is the greatness of the United States. So Elvis Cargo, I want to show you. Then people we don't send the files to me, the case I look at, I will call you them every day. No amount of gag order will stop me from calling you them, talking about the cases, because I get them, I get the paper them, I get the files and they send them to me. And then the only way because we'll put pressure on her, we'll begin to expose her for Nemuna, for Shemuna. I think common sense will prevail over opportunistic calculations on her part. Then I begin to do the right thing, way ethical, way morally acceptable, and legally, and the way that. So I want to let this message go from here loud and clear, in no uncertain terms, that we all join President Bio for fight corruption, because corruption and an egregious human rights violation where don't care the country and then the abyss. 60 years of independent state today we're not able to now. All because of the exponential corruption, deliberate corruption. And waiting the problem will get Nasalo, we will not get water, we will not get electricity, we will not get internet, we will not get all that and the corruption, because we get enough resources and formations will get them, but we are very corrupt people then, we're very heartless, then deprive me. And so because of the when they deprive who of next year, we voices will be heard very loud and clear. We go continue for ICC and they can go to the second part of the broadcast. And after that, which I will do, I will pause for some nice musical break. Now, not forget to get we own a musical don't come with. And that number where I give you now WhatsApp, we go use them for calling, for how to which I don't talk or action. But please, I want advice everybody. This will not want long talk now. 3 minutes. I mean, I want to make everybody know now. When we get for call, at the point in time, I will inject if you talk long time ago. Because one also let that people they come. So within 2 or 3 minutes, if you be able to lay your case very quickly, or you comment or you ask questions. So we are now all go by the 3 minutes. We are not exceed them. So we'll get more people there. The next thing I talk about now, the 76th session of the General Assembly of the United Nations, where they meet every year by God power. This for open Tuesday, I believe Tuesday, September 14. Yeah, if the memory serves me, were Tuesday, September 14. The General Assembly where we meet annually na New York get for meet. And this could be the 76th anniversary since the founding of the United Nations. We all know the United Nations began to be historically in 1945 for fetch the menaces of Hitler. We know how Hitler been bring World War II upon mankind and all that things. So the Western, axis, the Western Alliance, they got together for fights that day and for make sure that they bring that body there. So going forward, and we'll make sure say mankind is not ravaged by war anymore. Even though yes, we get disturbances, here and there, we send a Salona girl, we get the rebel while waiting place. We also waiting happen at Kosovo, it's waiting to happen at Liberia, and all the places that they are media. So the main goal of the United Nations set for is still not achieved because they're not able to read the word of wording. So they're supposed to reach that New York. But because of the pandemic, this corona way don't almost let God sorry for me and let God turn back sorry for me. They save me. Corona they almost not take over. So the authorities they know the two word say really say today let this meeting let not take place in person. Let it take them by virtual, let all man in their home then they will use Zoom. This for Salon, it will good for Salon. One, because the delegation the way normally in Canada United Nations are Iboku, then you ask the question, waiting all of them people that they can do. And the seats in the United Nations now 4 seats not every country they get 4 seats. Either the president or the prime minister, the foreign minister, then the ambassador waiting in New York, then perhaps the ambassador waiting in Washington go augment the team so that. So leaders in that from Africa, but in particular in Sierra Leone, they don't for the big plain load of people there. They come because they know there's nothing actually where they do. Now we get 2 missions in America. Yeah. We get the mission in New York, and then we get the embassy in Washington there. So we believe say one way for save money, they for quarter on that. You now only the essential people there because what will happen, the embassy in Washington can able augment the mission in New York if not work for them. But when they happen though, they say let this not take place. Some of we go gladly for that, let the meeting not take place. I mean, let them not come. Let them remain because of the pandemic here so. But then here's the downside of it for Salon. Una go recall, where they also follow how things happen at Salon. The World Bank too, bigger, all the one as a matter of fact, Salon from 1958, where we know Salon, now they don't begin the history, and they ask for aid. The first way Salon begin ask for grants, then they give them money, 1958. God make a remember that history day of Salon, bigger with all the things they get. So, waiting now therefore happen though. They can say if let God make clear in the United States, use the muscle for make sure say that meeting not take place physically, they all man them. We na Salon now we go there na the losing end. How? Una go because the international community, the World Bank be giving money for let us try improve the internet services because we all go be a witness. We when they call Naton or when they call me, then they pay too much. Now we they pay the highest tariff on telephone use via internet and let's say they too much. So the World Bank they come to we aid, they give me money. But when you get people that way fundamentally dishonest, They're so morally depraved and they lack conscience. They don't get anything. Everything is them, 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 them. This na the escalating nightmare. This now the collective tragedy this way before Salon, where they self-centered level. Waiting happen. Alpha Khan, Mohammed Bangura, and the IB Kago, that man where they call Kotolaidi, as well as Anis Kuma, they put that money in their pockets. We don't get better internet place. We don't get reliable internet. So assuming United States pin pumper say yes, that meet today, it no go take place physically. It will get for be by way of Zoom or whatever it is. The question is, if Salion get that kind of a technology, they we go, withstand and we will endure that. Now this again will continue for argue. No nation no will go before in this 21st century or so. When we not get and we will not invest in energy. With energy, we will not get electricity, right? We will get internet, we will get this, we will get that. But when a country not gets that, now yanda first value for start. When you talk about development, you get forget and the energy and then industries. Now then you start. Because the thing is, we are Salion, we are everything that import. We are never an export-oriented economic and the market and the entity. And what's even bad about this, we own material the way, they come from our country. Now, the people that they don't give really the train, then they can't go. Then what once now, they send and give boku. And for example, we get
Kutubu, you got a phone call.
Caller, I don't be not arguing, but anyway, who said the call for me? What's my name? And who said the call for? 3 minutes, please.
Hello.
Go ahead, 3 minutes. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I would just want to make a contribution towards the program. And first of all, I want to thank Mr. Kutubu and others for stand firm to ensure that we will work towards with President in priority to fight corruption. Yeah, it's not really easy. We don't face in a lot in this country. Yeah, injustice for over 23 years. When me don't face anything there, over 23 years, no justice. Daddy land a guy where he believe he call us your uncle. He say now I want make work can live. So he call him, he hand over the paper to her as time they goes on. When the guy swear say he no get no intention for claim this land. So with that, me daddy giam is where more we live here. Go on, me daddy travel go offline. He left the document to her. When he come, he tie with the Lebanese, what they call Salman. He in a client town. So then tie up, take the place from me daddy, and for 23 years there is no justice. I was a kid at that time. They lock up me daddy 7 times at Pademba Road. When time for call the case and say the file don't loss. Up to now there is no justice. Till the past government come, so then turn until in fact don't know me the caller. No ever give attention with the past government. So onto this one, even though people out there then they provoke me that they say now that the government don't come. Let me see about in the happy. And say by God in power. By God in power. As we leaders, they fight corruption, no matter which party, which religion, any outside in the country, that justice we want. That you get all the people then to the details. And we say gonna sleep, you want to take the property, don't die. Left whip and suffer. Even for big we get a better education. We cannot unless we left for go out there and bless his soul to our grandma who passed away. We stand at least from people who get something that we had. We don't see how corruption it destroy a nation. Like me get very good ambition for become a lawyer. But due to the corruption epidemic in Salon, it is not epidemic, it is pandemic in these countries. I was not able to go to my dreams. So these things has affected us so much. Until now, there is no justice where our country is going. That's why I want to thank you all those that stand out there to ensure to work towards the president's priority to end corruption in this country. Please, I'm calling on you all, please, to stand with my dad so that at least he can have this land. A foreigner from nowhere.
All right.
Foreigner from
Thank you.
nowhere. Now in go Timapawi. Up to now, there is no justice. You don't fence the place. You don't get no.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Now, I could get a platform here. Who na get it, na teach you, na bring up. What I want to take is small musical break quick. They'll come to the third one now. As a matter of fact, the line will not even open. Then even as I go to the third one, we therefore be with the new experiment at APC, where they try for experiment democracy, una can still call a win. So back to you guys in the studio for a small musical break.
Unity Broadcasting Television don't come for unify, sensitize, and inform Salon people home and abroad. Broadcasting TV don't come
for developments now we country see.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation salon.
Unity Broadcasting TV don't come
for developments now we country see.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation salon.
We now independent media house. We dey here for unify, sensitize, and inform. Sierra Leoneans home and abroad.
We dey here so for talk, but waiting they happen. Political discussion,
you for know about salon politics.
Religious messages, entertainment self no go left again.
We no go left nothing piano.
Broadcasting TV don't come
for developments now we country see.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation salon.
Unity Broadcasting
Same way we can discuss by God power. Like I said, the line open now though. Una can call in, make una own contribution and add to the And the third way we can discuss that this new experiment way by God power. One begin take hold in the political firmament of APC. They know.
Kutubu, you have.
I'm going to call. Caller, who's the call from? What's your name, please?
Yes, I call from Dallas, Texas. It's now Reverend Becky. Thank you very much, Mr. Kutubu, for enlightening the citizens of Sierra Leone. One thing I want to say about two things where you just bring come up. One are the land problem that we country. To begin with, when we look at the prices of land in that country, it's so much high down. If you go buy a house in Ghana, now a land where it kind of like more acres, including the unfinished house, where even less than where you go buy just empty land at Salon right now. For address that, now two things need for day in place. The justice system need for be really firm in that country. Because the reason why all this problem, like the last caller that talked to we about injustice, it don't lead to corruption towards land business in that country. Again, the foundation, where the government will really put in place for let we the citizens follow, day. And I don't even know if the government even put it in place, people then go follow. Because we are so against the proper things and way it will make that country go before. These now we major problems in that country. Talking about the internet and networking system in that country, these are some of the things where it can make we can feel so discouraged about leaders in that country. But that again, I don't think say it get for be really coming from leaders, because like other Africa countries, really this network system and other system that we go make communication system, technology in a country make it improve, it'll come up from individuals there, citizens of that country. Number one, if we look at Rwanda, Nigeria, other countries, if you're in America, you will call them country them freely. You don't even need for dire code. But up to this time, alone with the first problem. And it not only they cause problem for the internet wise, it they cause problem for with security. Because with communication system in that country, they're in the hands of Indians. When they get this official, whatever they call them, how can a whole country communication system go there in the hands of foreigner? What if trouble come? All this trouble, they start from communication, from conversation, what they do on social media. We they see now people that they incite one in that country. When you want to trace them tomorrow, I will able to trace them. They go put the SIM card into where. Why can't we get just permanent communication system at the country in the hands of the citizens of the country? Talking about the UN summit, I don't even care about them. Because for how long will be coming to attend those meetings? Whatever we gain from them people? Nothing. We don't ever get anything from them. So I will let you know go beyond the time. But I just say, let we try improve those things that we need, when our basic needs, the way we go secure with country in terms of security. In terms of this communication system, it's very important for lady in the hands of government rather than the Indians. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Such a wonderful contribution. This man using this way by God power. We tell people and say, "Lo, all kind in an kind platform there." So, go all kind we able vents. You know, we not there for looking from parties and lanes, because the thing is that because the Commonwealth now for take precedence over the party demo and the leaders. And I really glad about the way we done. We hope so. We get more people then. We will always look at things from that kind of perspective. So, like I've been say again, like I say, APC don't decide for take I don't know if it's lip service or whatever it is, but they don't decide saying, then they try for change the trajectory of politics, because from the circumstances of the beginning, then I be a communist party, waiting happen in Russia, China, North Korea, that kind of concept they need, that make you get people then waiting still on a power table. Like this problem where they get so waited it and it's by command. No. Historically, if you go back, I can juxtapose that with what happened in SLPP. In SLPP, March 19, Sunday, March 19, 1967, Nakelima. 4 guys then they removed Albert Magai from power. Kutubu, Kaisamba, Museni Biwa, Gaby Francis, Salah Jusufie. 4. They don't even go convention, they don't even go to court. You can say anything about SLPP, but at least sometimes then when we look at and Michael Obama, when you look at, we don't need that power now past close to 20 years, because spent 10 years as opposition leader, 10 or more now as president. He alone na the party, you know, the go. So how then you go lay claims to democracy? So what you will do, we'll get for chef some young guys them, when they call themselves NRM guys them, where them say, come what may. They will try for change how politics they will. Even though he go there again, he corrupt some guys that he bribe them, but he get few they will not now. Now they push out small, they get for group and how they call out for ratify the constitution. The hope is when they ratify that constitution now, APC will bring itself at the forefront of democracy. Because the thing about democracy, that the government for the people or power for the people, by the people, and existing with the legitimate consent of the people. If you know him to get down there, you don't get any power from the people and let it exist by them, you really nothing. So the hope is we shall pray God let a democracy be an APC party and all other parties besides because the thing is bad governance that any political party it will negatively reflect on the country. Now that people they know the Greek, they are accommodate. You're not a member of the party, no, but they fail for realizing that the party no they exist in vacuum. The party they exist for govern the citizen. Then one executive authority from the people there. So it will only be germane or forthright for let the party in actions then reflect the legitimate aspirations of the citizenry. So democracy na APCO, SLPPO, PNPO, UDPO, and wherever, that a good start for the country. All this rancor and recriminations, what they see so, they unrest and what they see so, all this they emanate from a situation where people You get just a group of small-minded people that they grab power. So now the frustration that will see they manifest itself. Because if you then have power, you know, say, and then the people they put you there, you get for be accountable to them. What you go do, you go work in the interest. But once you feel say Musa is done there, you get a divine right. Now you no more go sit on there, nobody no go challenge you. You then pass or die until you die. Or after me, after you, I want more time, I want this. All that not good for democracy. And we were then at the Western industrialized democracies, where they enjoy them, because I can tell anybody, the miscellaneous collection of Salionians, Africans in general, but particularly Salionians, this November when they passed, and then in spite of the corona, where they have it, they still go exercise an inalienable right or the constitutional right for elect a government. They make sure their vote reflect who that they want. So if they do that, we allege them, we foreigners, and we kind of people in the country, we hold them accountable, we say them for doing. Why we not for also do that in our own country? What will you say your people there? When you criticize anybody, what you want? Caller, what's your name and who side they call from? What's your name, please? And who side they call for, please? Caller, you there on the line? Who side they call from? What's your name and what's your contribution, please?
The call drop. Go ahead.
We don't lost the caller, so we did talk about democracy. Perhaps one thing where some of you will conclude that the third world countries, especially the African countries, are not sure say this sort of government will be run, this presidential system of government will be run, and not physically fit me. It really not fit you. Maybe this the kind government will fit you, not go back to the representative democracy, the parliamentary democracy. When I go recall, what we run the democracy, that kind of a democracy, and from the 50s, they come up to past independence, up to March 1967. It's very easy to forget me of a government because all you do in parliament, waiting to happen, majority of people enjoy the kind of money, move a vote of non-confidence. We don't see this happen at Britain. In Britain, would happen Margaret Thatcher. You start with then a finance minister like Nigel Lawson, rebel against her. Would happen Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, and then say Israel. Waiting up with the people they just come together and get rid of the Netanyahu and all that. This kind of a democracy they improve so that a leader no go become synonymous with the country. The leader no go become the country, and the country no go become a leader. When leaders say no say, they sit down in office at the mercy of the citizens there. Believe me, they no go form them because they know say the citizens there. Now they decide in fate. Now they get the ballot paper. Now they go. Now they get for go decide who that will get for remain in office. Where that happen. But when you get a situation where now your people then don't want to go and train yourself in power, that may be done here. So we all need for support which in APC they do, because like I say, democracy in APC, a democracy for the country. It will hold down all the noise here, the rancor and recrimination, what they call the violence. Because the thing is, everybody's going to compete for the office. The office is open. Go to the people there. Now, I let this place so. Anybody can be president now. Anybody. What thing happen? You go to the people there. You go. Now, make primaries in any election if because what will happen? That the people there will decide. So when they don't do that now, if now you the elect during the primary, then when the big election come, then the party just go. But a situation where other people they just sideline them. Then they just pick one person about a group of people, they just pick one person, it's not good for democracy, it brings a lot of problems. So, I mean, again, let me recap, because we come down the program, let me recap, again, about 10, 20 minutes more. I mean, I see the welcome callers, them on a free for call, and do your own take on this. As to, watching on our own, solutions. But I think the main thrust of this program today, now the judicial intimidation, that go over that again. Because of the pressure what they put by the people that within the judiciary now, they waiting on Apple now. They want try for sex up the young games. Waiting they want do, and they want begin pass law where go make sure say you don't go talk about a judge or a lawyer case. No, that is to me wrong. We have to talk about it, and we get for talk about the judge then. We get for talk about the lawyers then. Because that's the only way this. If they don't say that they do the right thing, then you don't need to worry about who's talking about you. How on that a judge go hold a case? I can use an example. There's a case where I get Nayano where every now that they look the file. That case done there before Justice Mark from Twitter call outside the call from what's their name, what's their contribution. If we get the call, if not that, I will continue. We get a case to the judge from since 2005. Now the judge get a case day, he get a file day. 30 days where they talk so the judge don't get the judgment. Imagine 2005 in law, you get what you call justice delayed, justice denied. Where you don't delay justice, you don't deny justice. Right there, now an egregious violation, Nandi. Everybody get a right to speedy disposition of a case. Everybody. So the only thing where the people in a court, they just look at the laws in their plan. But why case would they like that? 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? I mean, come on. People they need for actually recalibrate. They need for actually think outside the box. All of this problem I would did. Like when the 16th century philosophers, people like Charles the Secondant, or that what they call Montesquieu, where then be the famous French jurist and the great Englishman in England, where they call John Locke. When they put governments together, because they will say, then people, then 16th century European leaders, and they get boku power there. What they do, they divide the power among three branches. You get the parliament, you get the government of the day, and then you get the court. From that thing, where they do, now imagine what they call the Magna Carta. The Magna Carta, obviously, where they go, ratify now, what they call Ronnie Mead. During the 12th century, 12 something, when King John made it in power, where if they wouldn't be forced for going to renovate, for go for endorse that Magna Carta, for limit the power of people there, for limit them. Because when you get the power, I mean, like you say, absolute power is corrupt. So they divided, we as citizens and other citizens, we the laws and the way government we conduct, they make a play. The power we will not get, we the citizens, we know for exercise them. We say not to only governments that they violate, the fundamental tenets of the rule of law. We citizens set the ground. So then great philosophers and in one we say that power will not get, no exercise them at all, not get them. So this now one way this will create a just and egalitarian society where everybody they feel say in a part and parcel of her. The rule of law, that the ethical foundation and moral compass way. Now, the only thing that the foundation that will guarantee any nation. Without that, you see, for be a society, you be a jungle farm, you be an animal farm society like that. And we don't want for be seen. So, President Biodon can't talk say we for fight corruption, and he's doing it. So, we all job now for help fight the corruption. We get any caller on the line as we wrap up? We get any caller on the line?
No.
We get about 20 more minutes for this. No. I believe say and now also go over this United Nations business way and by God power way America or in the transformation say the meeting not take place. And the benefit we Salon will get out of this, we will save money. Because if delegation not come, then they talk about the citizens them, paying hotel bills, expenses for people there, paying party and everything. At least that boku money where they go use for the other day, that money they go be channeled for other thing there. So that makes some of you they pray God, let the meeting not take place in person. Or assuming you do, let the administration, let them be reasonable, let them be very reasonable and very considerate and understanding of the economic circumstances of the country. We cannot afford just to spend all kind of money no more paneti. We don't need for bring Boku delegation now for Canada United Nations meeting. No. For one thing, we get 2 missions in Aya. We get the permanent mission at United Nations and New York. It gets staff there. We also get an embassy in Washington DC Aya. You can augment. We can take people there from one Aya. If that, that for go help, the delegation when they come for the conference, for them to go help them. And like you say again, the president can do the nation in favor this time around. He got a very robust, a highly competent foreign minister, somebody who is very articulate, and somebody who is, seem forget international gravitas, Professor Francis. What the president can do? The president can give accreditation. And what I mean by that? It can up in status. It not will only come as foreign minister, but it will come as if the president. So the foreign minister will just come with 1 or 2 people then. Then with the team where they Naya, the Washington team, and the New York team, they all go put things together. After us, as I wrap up that on this, and I want everybody takes. And the United Nations, as far as me concerned, me reading of looking at things, when you talk about United Nations, now one continent where you talk about matter, then the United States, since the fall of the Iron Curtain, since the Soviet Union for them, the Eastern Bloc, thanks to Margaret Thatcher, Ronald Reagan, and Pope John Paul, when they friend and therefore do away with the Iron Curtain. The only country now we matter now actually in America. And when the United Nations open, the only speech when they give power to the president of the United States, when he open the session. After that now, sometimes we don't see what if you tune in again and session the week they can now empty chamber because on continent when they talk delegation can come on and they go. Most of them if Israel they talk a number of our continent just they walk out and then they didn't say it. So really United Nations, yes, it came about in 1945. It came about after they non deal with Hitler in Venice, because all of them will not be forget World War II. If the Western Alliance they listen to waiting the great English statesman Winston Churchill, he tell them, he say that man, Mr. Hitler, that man is not to a reasonable manner. They're not before deal with him. But then they get this politics of parties. When they grow people, they get that party where they do say, they say where you they go for feed alligator, which you open so could you see and see you. Then you talk say now you last wait. I don't know of any mistake we go past that day. Now you force to wait because now you force to say. And the reason for that so then if you say Mr. Hitler a reasonable man for deal with, by the time they turn around for final say Mr. Hitler not reasonable, mankind was faced with World War II. So after the World War II, 1945, then they come up with this body here for make sure say let this year not meet mankind, not continue for pay God.